Good evening, everyone. I am Mayor Pro Tem Dawanica Cooper, and I am calling this council meeting to order on this day, Tuesday, March the 11th, 2025, at 6 o'clock p.m. I pledge to build a stronger and more prosperous community by advocating for civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding solutions for the betterment of our city of Lake City, South Carolina. Next will be our invocation and pledge. Our invocation will be led tonight by Councilman Jason Brown and and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilwoman Nicole Singletary. Would you please stand?
If everyone will bow their head and join me in a moment of silence. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman Brown, and thank you, Councilwoman Singletary. Next, we will have the polling of the city council members. Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council members?
Mary Amika Robinson. Councilmember Nicole Singletary.
Present.
Councilmember Wilhelmina Scott.
Present.
Councilmember Melissa Askins.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Dawanica Cooper.
Present.
Councilmember Sandra Fleming Crosby.
Present.
Councilmember Jason Brown.
Present.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I find there to be a quorum present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next on the agenda will be the adoption of the agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
It has been properly moved in second. Any questions, council? All in favor? Okay. Next will be the approval of minutes. I need a motion to approve. Move to approve. I need a motion to approve the minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
It has been properly moved in second. Any questions? Next, on the agenda, we will have
All in favor.
excuse me, I apologize. All in favor, by show of hands? Next on the agenda will be a platform for our young people addressing the mayor and council. Tonight, there will be no presentations, so we will move forward with the next presentations. First, we will have a presentation by Ms. Lynn Wilson. She's the Director of Community and Workforce Development, followed by Ms. Kayla Hodge, which will be presenting the Digital Comprehensive Zoning Map.
Thank you all for allowing me to come, for allowing me to speak. I've given everyone a copy of our annual report. Again, for those that might not realize, the Director of Community and Workforce Development, I am, which is with Florence County Economic Development. And so there are 9 municipalities in Florence County, and Lake City is one of them, so I'm honored to be here. I gave you a copy of our annual report. 2024 highlights are in there, a little bit about what we've accomplished in the past year and through economic development. But another thing I would just like to ask, if you know of any business owners in Lake City that would like to be involved in Florence County progress and economic development, please send them our way. Our contact information is in the annual report that I gave you. We'd love to have people in Lake City being more involved in our events and with what's going on in Florence County in regards to economic development. Another thing that I've given you, the council members, we are having a Lunch and Learn Economic Development 101, and it's going to be held at our Scranton Industrial Park on Wednesday, April 2nd at 11:30. We would love for you all to come just to hear more about our office and also find out how Lake City can benefit from our economic development. There are several industrial parks in Florence County. Two that are near here would be the Scranton Industrial Park and then the Lake City Commerce Park. And so part of our office, what we do is we actively market those and try to bring industry and businesses into our county. Another thing a lot of people like to hear is a quick AESC update. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. But later this year, they will be opening the facility. It's located in front of Wilson High School. And they currently have 150 or so employees hired. And they're looking to hire about 1,600 in the next 5 years. So we're excited about that as a county. And then the training center is also being built, and it should be open late spring, early summer. And it's on 327 if you're headed out to Buc-ee's on the left. There's a road that will be built connecting the training center to the facility. That'll help the 18-wheelers when they come off of the interstate to head directly to that plant. Only other thing, we recently had a Florence County Legislative Day event in Columbia. That was on last week, March 4th. Philip Lowe, our chair of the delegation, was a speaker, and also Pamela Yvette, our lieutenant government. We have this during the week that the legislators are in session, and we invite everybody from Florence County just to come, to show up and show out. We have several businesses that set up tables, and so the legislators can come through. You can spend that time to ask them questions or just present what we have going on. Hopefully next year we'll invite the municipalities and have a table for them. So you all, I'll give you some more information on that. But that's really all that I have. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, my contact information is in that annual report that I gave you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. They got it.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I apologize for my attire. I've been digging holes today at school. So what you see here is our digital comprehensive zoning map, which we are looking to add as a layer to Florence County's GIS system. So anyone will be able to access this map, not just having to call me to find out the zone. You can search by tax map number, address, or by owner once we get it out of draft. So since it's in draft, you can only really look by tax map number right now. But, so this is the map. There have been no changes. These are just working with existing zones. This is the foundation for zoning changes and for the future land use of the city. So hopefully it looks good for everybody, because this, if you guys allow it to, it will be on Florence County's GIS system. So anyone will be able to access it. And that's it. Okay.
Thank you. Again, thank you, Ms. Wilson and Ms. Hodge, for your presentations tonight. Next, we will move into the public comment period. Comments are limited to 2 minutes per person, and no personal or verbal attacks will be entertained. The council is interested in hearing your concerns, but speakers should not expect council action or deliberation on subject matters brought up during public comment period. Topics requiring further investigation will be referred to the city administration and may be scheduled for a future agenda. Please make sure to sign in and leave your name and address for the record with the city clerk to council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's Gloria Tisdale, and I am representing the Carver High School Alumni Association. At the last meeting, I appeared before Mayor and Council to request that the city administrative building be named after the late Mayor Wilford Barr. I am coming here to again ask this for you to take this request seriously, and to also ask a response from Mayor and Council as to what action you will be taking in regarding this request. Thank you.
Hi, my name is LaRue Alford. I just had a question. I'm reading on here, we had talked about earlier about the auction that's gonna be conducted by the Public Works Department and about the city. And I read it online, maybe I overlooked something, but I read it online, and it said something about the Public Works Department was gonna be having their auction at 278. Some items are gonna be sold to Ricky. I think I read that online, some of the Public Works Department stuff is gonna be sold at 278 at auction.
Auction, yeah, like 278 cold.
Material, I mean, the merchandise, I doubt can be posted out there. You need to probably look at that.
Maybe I read it wrong, but I thought I saw that, and then I was just wondering about, when we talked about some of the stuff that was gonna be sold, government deals, whether we agreed that it was gonna be sold on gov deals, or whether or not it was gonna be sold at a public auction, and I'd just like to get a clarification on where that's gonna be sold at. That's all. Thank you, Mayor Council. I'm the Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you.
And my name is Frank Williams. And to piggyback on what Mr. Walker was saying, we was hoping that the mayor and council would take in consideration of giving the citizens and the taxpayers the opportunity to purchase these vehicles, or wherever the public auction may require.
Has everyone signed in?
I don't think they did.
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead.
I'm gonna bounce around. This is my second council meeting. Nice to see you guys this evening. Last month I came, and one thing just observations. I live right outside the city limits, not far. Calvin Smith's actually my neighbor, lives right across the road from me. Good guy. And last month, it just seemed, like I said, it was my first time, and I'm a little bit nervous tonight, but I just wanted to make sure I heard a few things right last time. There's only a little less than 6,000 people in this town, but I thought I heard that you guys had 17 checking accounts. That's a lot. I'm just saying, when it comes to transparency, if you want trust in the people that you're, there's not enough. The more transparent, the better. Answer the questions, or let them answer their own questions by seeing, The other thing is, I heard there was a lot of people here about the storm drain. The one question I didn't hear answered or asked was if something happened, because when we had that storm yesterday, I happened to be going by, that thing was it was whitewater raft. These kids, when it comes summertime and it's hot, and then we get a storm, they're going to want to play. They're going to put stuff in it to see it go down. I just hope it's not one of them. But the question I didn't hear was who would be responsible if somebody got hurt? Who? Is it going to be the people that own the land? Is it going to be the city? People who dug the ditch? Somebody's got to be liable for that. That needs to be answered before the incident happens. I mean, it's just don't want anything bad to happen. The other thing, I don't know which council member is over Ackline Street, down where, like, going toward the old railroad restaurant. But I'd love to speak with that person because a friend of mine owns a business there, and I tried to go get a haircut yesterday, but I didn't have enough wind in me to walk that far. Parking was just terrible. So, but anyway, thank you guys, and I'm glad to be here.
Sir, what's your name?
Terry Herring, I'm sorry.
Can you sign in for
Oh,
me?
I sure can.
Down the street from that line.
Terry, what was the name of that
That's you.
business? On the Act Line.
It's Becky's is actually the place I tried to get a haircut at, but the problem was, they don't open till later in the morning, and they got a lot of elderly people to go there for haircuts and stuff. But undoubtedly, I'm not sure what they do, some kind of health care or something, but that whole street, and it's kind of dangerous backing in and out because it's on an angle. Your parking's on an angle till you get around back,
Yeah, okay.
and it's just very, chaotic,
Okay.
so.
No other comments? Okay, now we will be moving forward into our legislative session of the meeting. Starting with Resolution 2025.008 for final reading. So resolution for the City of Lake City, South Carolina, seeking approval to conduct an auction for various items and equipment purchased by the City of Lake City Public Works Department that are no longer being utilized and other matters related thereto. Need a motion?
Move to approve final reading of resolution 2025008.
Any questions, council?
We need a
Council?
second. Second.
Any questions, council?
I think this is what Mr. Brett Burgess was referring to. Some of the,
That was LaRue. Oh, well, both of them. But it was,
I was referring to the second article, resolution 2025, and I think the first article would be Public Works Department vehicles. I think, I don't know for sure.
I think Mr. LaRue was referring to the gov deals.
gov deals, yeah.
oh, yeah.
Any other questions, council? All in favor? Next, we will have Resolution 2025.009 for final reading. The City of Lake City is seeking approval to allow the city to place on gov deals excess vehicles and acquiring funds from the sale of these items for the City of Lake City and other matters related thereto. Need a motion to approve Resolution 2025.009 for final reading.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions, council?
Yes, Brandon. With us posting stuff on govdeals.com, is there any way that we can still offer an auction to the community, even though we put it on govdeals.com? If the items don't sell, could we come back and auction to the community? Can you hear me?
Just start line. Mr. Ricky up too, Jason.
Yeah. Well, you go ahead and speak. Go ahead, Ricky.
Yeah.
Everything probably needs to be moved down to Public Works or display for public.
Okay.
And I think it's two different things. If the public don't do that, it needs to be one product.
Yes, sir.
Public
Public Works, yes.
That's why I thought he was talking about the first one.
Yes, sir. That was my question, that, we move everything down there, but could it still be optional, even though it's on the internet for sale? If we auction it at the city and someone buy it, it just be erased off of govdeals.com, and you wouldn't have to worry about selling it on govdeals.com. We just have two options.
That's a possibility. Yeah, that's a possibility.
Okay.
If I'm being transparent with you, it hasn't even occurred to me. So we can do that.
I think that'd be a good idea.
If that's what y'all want.
Okay, well, Charlie, since we have already voted on final reading for both of these, 08 and 09, do we need to amend these to have those?
I think at this time, 08 is the only one that's passed, correct? You all voted on 09.
Right.
So if 09, it doesn't sound like that's what's an issue. Excuse me, if 008 is not what's an issue, those will be auctioned off. 009 is what's gov deals. So if y'all don't want it on gov deals, it'd be hard to amend that. So it would probably just be either table or a vote to deny, and then you could bring it back at some later date. Or, I guess theoretically, there could be a motion to amend for a public auction only, if that is.
Now, you want this public to the citizens of Lake City or to neighboring jurisdiction?
That's what I'm saying. If it could, it'll still be the city of Lake City, but it could sit down there for 6 months and nobody buy it, and then it's just sitting there. But we still have it on the internet, and plus the citizens will still have an option to buy too.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking.
Oh, so pretty much like
Yeah.
an inventory, and we have it circumvented, and then we written them off.
You get what I'm saying,
Mayor
Charlie?
Pro Tem, may I make a motion to
Okay.
table this until we've had more discussion about it?
Okay. We can do that.
All-
Yeah. Second.
So a motion to table is on the floor, that would need a second and a vote.
And that's tabling resolution 2025-009, final reading. Make a motion to table that. Get a second?
All in favor?
Haskins.
Next, we have Resolution 2025.010 for final reading. A resolution for mayor and council accepts the bids for All Star Sports Incorporated for Lake City Recreation and Tourism Department baseball, softball uniforms in the amount of $9,795.26 and all matters related thereto. Need a motion to approve Resolution 2025.101 for final reading.
Move to approve. Second.
Any questions, council?
Brandon,
Grayson.
Grayson, did you have anything to add to this?
No, ma'am, only I can say is that, only I can say is that this, the city does pay, but we get sponsorships to reimburse the city, so there really is no cost to the city. So the incentive, you go out and find sponsorships, they would.
Okay, thank you for that.
All in favor, show of hands. Okay, next we will be moving into the city administrative reports. The monthly financial report and the approval of monthly bills will be done by Mr. Brandon Carter, the finance director.
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem and Council.
Yeah.
I will be presenting the actuals for period ending of February 2025. General fund year-to-date actual for general fund revenue is 4.9 million, 46,244, and expenditures is 7.5 million, 90, and 397, which means that we are a deficit of 2.6 million, 44, 153. For our water fund, year-to-date is 1.3 million, 36,313, and expenditures is 1.1 million, 2 is 608, which put us at a surplus of 233,705. Our sewer fund, our year-to-date is 2.3 million, 8 and 358, and our expenses is 2.2 million, 89 and 388, which put us as a surplus is 18,970. Our stormwater year-to-date is 145,882, and our expenditures is 33,333, which put us as a surplus as 112,549. Our water reserve year-to-date is 122,900, and our sewer reserve is year-to-date actual is 120,225. That is actuals for the month in February. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Or Mayor Pro Tem and Council, excuse me.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Next, we will have our council members report.
Bills.
And bills.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Mayor Pro Tem and Council, I present the bills to be approved.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the First Citizens Bank?
So the First Citizen, yes, ma'am. The First Citizen is our first capital loan. Last year, when the fiscal year budget was presented, that is covering that $1.4 million that the previous administration presented to Mayor and Council, and it was approved. So that is our first payment to repay that loan for our capital expenses.
Any other questions, council?
It's done. It's gotta be paid, so.
It has to be paid.
Got to be
Ain't
paid.
got no choice.
Yeah.
And we got to, it's a
And,
loan, so.
I mean, yeah.
Can't ignore it.
To Councilman Crosby had the right questions last year, but it was,
What was the loan for?
multiple capital expenses when it comes to certain administrations. You know, they do a CIP, which is capital improvement. It'd be behoove of the administration to set aside certain revenue, but unfortunately, that wasn't. Oh, I apologize. I apologize. So yes, that was the loan was for covering the certain capital requests that each of the departments was requesting. So they issue out a $1.4 million loan to cover those requests.
So are you saying we gotta pay out, number two, First Citizens, $237,804.20?
Correct, Councilwoman.
Oh,
How,
One
long do we
paper.
have to pay back that $1.4 million?
I can present that to, it's in the actual budget packet, but I can present that. I can.
Like, is it paid back over 6 months, over a year?
Oh yeah, we make annual payments. Annual payments. I think.
I wanna say it's 4.
Was it 4?
I wanna say it's something like 4. So.
I think it was 4, something like
It's
that.
something with
I don't know. I mean, Councilwoman Crosby had the right questions last year, and
don't ask me about nothing I asked last year.
what you say?
Don't ask me
He
about
said
that.
you had the right.
No,
He
you
just said you had the
was
right-
asking the right questions.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm
But,
saying, don't ask me to remember those questions.
yeah. But
Because now we do not know financially where we stand. And that is, you would know the numbers better than any of us. How able are we to handle that now? Well, don't worry about answering that.
So you're saying that's an annual payment?
Yes,
So we just
ma'am.
pay that
We gotta
amount
get paid,
once
though.
this year?
if I'm being quite transparent with you, Councilwoman, when the transfer of power happened, I was trying to break down to monthly payments, but unfortunately, we are unable to do that because we cannot handle that load. So,
So how can we approve it then?
Y'all.
I mean, now,
but I wanted to put this on the bills to be approved because I want to make sure that I'm transparent with Mayor Pro Tem and Council.
I mean, because if it don't get paid, I mean,
Renegotiate?
no.
Because everything's already signed, sealed, and delivered.
Yeah.
We done got the.
And it's already been approved by Mayor and Council.
What's behind
I mean,
it?
you can't faulty on the loan, so you got to.
Oh, yeah,
It ain't no way around it, so we got to pay it. I mean,
Work out the payment plan.
we on the payment plan.
Right, we is on the payment plan.
Keep running.
We ain't got no choice but to pay it, so. Move right along.
All right. Any other questions, council? All in favor?
We ain't got no choice.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Council.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Next, we will have the council member and mayor reports. We will start with Councilwoman Askins.
Okay, thanks for everybody for coming out and asking questions. Bringing up the organization for questions that we have. I do have one question for you. Do we have any, has anyone applied for the forensic audit position?
There you go.
I've received inquiries, but I haven't received the official proposal yet. So I've been they have been reaching out to me personally, and I've been answering all the inquiries. So they are going to send proposals, and once I start receiving the proposals, I'm gonna put it in a spreadsheet and I'm gonna present it to Mayor and Council.
Thank you.
thank everyone for coming out tonight. I wasn't here last year, so I can't say nothing. But anyhow, you learn as you go. It's a big debt but I sort of fully explained. But anyhow, thank you for the information. I'm trying to figure out that one, Atline Street. I know part of Atline is in District 3. So afterward, you're welcome to speak to me. I'll see what I can do to help with that situation. And it's a lot we have to look at as time go by. I know there's another concern. I don't know when we could be voting on that. We're concerned with that roundabout that coming in the area that would affect us with the city that they're going to be doing. So as we learn more about it, Mr. Ricky will be able to explain further once that is presented for approval for that situation.
I'm
done.
I'm sorry. Thank you all for coming out. I just have two quick shout outs. The first one is to the Lake City varsity basketball girls team. Congratulations for making it to lower state. And also congratulations to Coach Cooper for being named Coach of the Year. Also to the recreation team, that's 12U and 14U, for making it to the finals as well. I believe what it was, 14U made it, was runner-ups, I believe. Okay, so congratulations to them, and hopefully we will see you all next month. And the next budget workshop is coming up in April. No, last March. Yeah, March. And please make sure you come out and voice your concerns. Thank y'all.
Ditto some of what former Mayor Pro Tem Singletary said. I want to take this opportunity to commend Mayor Pro Tem Cooper on a job well done. This is very new for her. Stand up, girl, take a bow. Stand up, take a bow. You did a good job. Thank you. That's it.
I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. We had some good comment periods where we could look into some situations going on with naming of the building, look into the situation with the alkaline issue, look into the gov deals and the vehicles. I see we got a new park that's open in District 6, the pickleball park over there. Y'all need to go check it out. It's very nice. Florence County is doing a nice job over there. Then we got our food truck little carnival deal going on right here in front of the apartments here. That's looking good. That's coming along good. Just be vigilant. If you see something going on, let us know something, and we can work on it. I know Mr. Ricky and his guys is over there working in Martha Law on the pipes and the drainage issue over there. Mr. Ricky keep me abreast on what's going on over there, and that's good. This guy's working hard. And Chief Miles, I got a question in my comment period.
Yep.
The other day, something was very alarming to me. I was out in my yard, and it was about dusk dark, and the train was coming real slow down the track. And I was out there in the yard doing something. I seen the blue lights flashing on the train. And at the time, I seen one of the police cars go back down Charles Street. Then a few minutes later, I seen another one right behind that one. Then a few minutes later, I seen one come down Valley Street. And then I picked my phone up. I said, well, let me see what's going on. And and I was sitting there and I could hear him coming down 52. And I said, well, let me see what's going on. There was a man with a gun on Lincoln Avenue. And I got to thinking to myself, I said, well, I hope nobody run in a wreck. None of the officers get hurt or someone get hurt, or someone get hurt over there. An officer get hurt with, he be the first one on scene and is back up, cross the track and can't get across. And I remember years ago, when I was on the Police Explorers and everything, I always taught that we have sections of time. When the officer, you have two on this side, and then you have the sergeant, he does patrol, and if something bad happened on what side of town, they just meet in the middle. And that just kind of alarmed me just a little bit, and I just want to know what your protocol was on.
We certainly try to do that. We can't always adhere to that simply due to the nature of the calls that we have now. They're obviously different than what we had back when the Explorers program was going on the last time. The nature of the calls that we have now, when they're violent, they can be extremely violent. They can go from being nonviolent to violent quickly, very quickly. So for that purposes, we try to always use a contact and a cover officer, with both of those officers being supervised by a shift sergeant. So depending on the nature of the call that they were leaving or the call that they were going to, it kind of depends on the officers' locations throughout the city at any given time. But as our shifts grow, it's something that we've definitely taken into account. And if we do have a shift to where there is 4 out at any given time, then that's something that that supervisor takes into account as well. So for that particular call, I would have to go back and look to tell you what call they were leaving and going to. But I agree with you, it definitely happens. The nature of our work is sometimes dangerous. And we have to go into these situations and sometimes face armed people by ourselves. That's what we sign up to do. We all know that when we go to the academy. So we don't wait on those calls. We don't wait for backup to go to them. If somebody's threatening somebody else and they're trying to hurt them or injure them or break into their house or steal their property or whatever, we're not waiting, we're going. And we'll cross the bridges as we get to them. That's what we're trained to do. But yeah, it's definitely something we take into account, and we have looked at it further. There have been some discussions on it.
And before I begin, you can go ahead and start your report.
See, I thought I was gonna get away with it.
Not today.
All right, going into it, the total calls for service for February, total calls for service are at 1,765 calls for service. That's a significant amount for our town. Obviously, we all know that. That includes 422 traffic stops, 43 burglar alarms, 37 domestic calls, 51 follow-ups, 792 property checks. That's, in a month, that's getting up there. That's getting up there pretty good, 792 property checks in a month. And what these property checks consist of is there's some that stay on there month after month. They stay on there all year long. We never remove them. And there's some of them that gets put on there to where if you're going out of town and you know you have a boat sitting in your yard or an ATV or a car or something like that, you can request that we do a property check and check that periodically. And every time we check it, we call it into dispatch in Effingham that we've checked this property number. Your address is given a number, not your numeric address. It's given a number 1, 2, 3, a sequential number. And we call that in, so there's a record of the time we checked it, every time, every day. So that totals up to 792 property checks. We went to 26 suspicious person calls. We had 7 traffic accidents, 15 disorderly calls, 20 suspicious vehicle calls, 11 vandalism calls, harassment and threatening came in at 23. Warrant services were at 20. Assaults were at 8. We had 8 larcenies. We had 3 reports of shooting incidents. We had 5 break-ins, 23 trespassing, and 30 animal complaints. And out of those 30 animal complaints, we seized or removed 14 animals from the city and took them to the animal shelter. That young lady that does that job, she has been nonstop since she started. She's doing an awesome job. We had 140 traffic citations issued, 45 vehicle license violations, 9 simple possessions of marijuana, 10 speeding tickets, 8 operating uninsured, 22 driver's license violations, 12 driving under suspensions, and 4 DUIs. You're going to start to see some of those DUIs and stuff like that creep up during the summer months. It happens. We had 180 incident reports. We had 21 incidents with arrest. 53 warrants were issued and 38 warrants were served. So that rounds out the total calls for February. And if I might add,
and if I'm allowed to, Mr. Alpock, the resolution about the cars, some of those, if not the majority of those cars on that resolution are police vehicles. I know for a fact that I put specifically, I think it's 5 of them on there. The 5 of them that I put on there, they're not running, they're not driving. One of them doesn't even have an engine. And the reason that is these are cars that are 2013 to 2014, the majority of them. We've had them that long. We should have replaced them years ago. They exceed their mechanical limits, meaning it's going to cost more to repair them than what the car's worth. So we try to get as much as we can for the car. And if the more we can get for it, our hope is to then turn those funds around to replace them, because we're going to have to replace them. And the cheaper we can replace them, the lower that burden is on the citizens of the city. So if we reach a bigger audience by going to GovDeals, sometimes that's what we have to do. But if that audience is in the city, so be it. Everyone's welcome to log in and bid on GovDeals. It's just like everyone, if we have an auction in the city, I think it would be unlawful for us to restrict someone from Scranton to come in and bid on those. I don't think we can do that. And maybe I misunderstood it. But the majority of those cars on there are police vehicles, and I would encourage anybody, whether they live in Lake City or anywhere, to come and do an inspection on them before you bid on them. Some of them are in horrible shape, mechanically wise.
And just for the benefit of everyone too, online, when you can look at the agenda, there's every vehicle's VIN, mileage, year, name, model is all there. So everyone knows. It's all available on the website, on the agenda.
And I also listed in that there's a trade-in option on some of these unmarked vehicles, some of the newer ones. They're still not new. You're talking 2015, 2016. I think there's one 2017 on there. Same thing goes with them. We've got a 2017 F-150 with over 200,000 miles on it. I mean, these are used vehicles. Some of them are in pretty bad shape. Some of them we're limping along to get by with it, doing what we can with them. They have eat our maintenance GL line. They've eat that budget alive this year because the hopes were to replace them last budget year, but we couldn't. So they've eat that GL line item. They've eat it up. We started the year with $45,000 in that line, and I believe it's going into the negative now. So those cars are becoming a burden. They're becoming a burden to us. They're becoming a burden to you guys, the citizens, and they're becoming a burden to the shops that are repairing them. They're finding it hard to find replacement parts for some of them and find replacement parts in a reasonable amount of time. So that's why I'm recommending that we remove those from our fleet. And if you bid on them, if you want to buy one, there's a couple of them in there that would probably be decent vehicles for a teenager to scoot around town or go to school with or something like that. But in my opinion, none of them are definitely safe to continue the line of work that we use them for. And if I wouldn't put a police officer in it, I definitely wouldn't want a member of the public driving it without making corrections to it, because there's some issues there. That's just, I don't think it's safe. And some of the mechanics that's looked at them, they agreed. So that's why they're there. If anybody's got any further questions on those. And I think there's a total of 5, if I'm not mistaken, 5 that are being recommended for auction, and the rest of them, there's the trade-in option on those. You get a higher trade-in value. We pay state contract pricing for vehicles. A new vehicle doesn't cost the police department what it costs the member of the public. We get them for significantly cheaper. We pay that state contract pricing, and if we can trade in a vehicle that's got a $8,000, $9,000, or $10,000 vehicle, that's going to make that vehicle that we replace it with that much cheaper. And there's the way state contract, state procurement works is there's only certain dealerships we can use throughout the state, and Santee Ford and Santee is one of them that we use. And they're the ones that we bought, the ones that we currently have, the Dodges and the Fords that we currently have. That's where they come from. And they've said that they're willing to review and look at any of the trade-in options that we may have, that we want them to look at. But there's only maybe 2 or 3 of those. Any other questions? Hope I answered everybody's questions regarding the vehicles.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you, council members, for your report. Lastly, it's me. I would like to thank everyone for coming out. I would like to say congrats to the Lake City Recreation Basketball teams, the 12U and the 14U boys teams. Also to the Lake City Girls Varsity Basketball team. Congratulations to you ladies as well. I would like to say thank you to my colleagues for helping me through this first meeting as Mayor Pro Tem. I greatly appreciate y'all. And moving forward, I would also like to thank everyone for coming out to the first budget retreat meeting that we previously had a few weekends ago. It was a success. Thank you to everyone who came out and voiced your concerns about what's going on with the city as far as how we're going to continue to run correctly and smoothly. Our next meeting, of course, like Councilwoman Singletary said, will be on March the 29th at 9 o'clock, and it's going to be at LC 278 as well. So with that, it will not be a public input, but please still come out because this is your city as well. We work for you all, and you need to know what's going on. And bring a neighbor, bring a friend, bring someone else, whoever, because they need to know as well. So please just keep everybody abreast on what's going on. And that's what these meetings are for, is to keep everybody abreast on what's going on in Lake City because, again, information is very important. I would also like to thank you to the administration and staff for all that you are continuously doing to help make our city continue to move. I know that it has probably not been easy, it's probably been hard, but thank you for continuing to move forward through the adversity that we have been through and probably still are going to go through. But there's nothing that we can't do. We can work together as a team to keep everything moving. So again, thank you. One more thing, anyone that is in District 4, I think it will affect District 4, District 1, and maybe District 3, but there will be a Highway 52 stormwater project public meeting. It's going to be another public meeting. Although the project is about 80% completed, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Ricky. There are some other questions and concerns that residents do have concerning the completion of that project. We are having a meeting with the engineers and also some representatives from the state concerning this matter. So please, again, if you live in that district or you know someone that lives in that district that is not here tonight, please inform them that there will be a meeting on March the 22nd from noon to 2 o'clock at LC 278. And of course, that's my district, which is District 4. I will put our information as well. But again, if you know somebody, tell them. And with that, that is it for that. That completes that. So lastly, just continue to stay vigilant and be safe throughout the remainder of the month. And again, happy Women's History Month, I would like to say that as well to all the women out there. So if you see someone who sets the example or sees the example as a woman, please give them a kudos. And that is it. Okay. I need a motion to adjourn. No. So next we will be moving into executive session. And pursuant to the South Carolina Freedom of Information Act, Sections 30-4-74 for discussion of personnel, employment, compensation, or appointments, and the receipt of legal justice. I need a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Okay. Any questions, council? Okay. All in favor? You guys have a good night.
Did you get it? Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Have a good night, y'all.